Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nerd Initiative. I can't believe we've made it through a whole year, folks. But for the last time in 2025, it's Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. You know what time it is. It's time to start your week off right and end your year even better. Right here on Play for Keeps, the show on Nerd Initiative. This week, we're wrapping up our year talking about some of our favorite figures that we picked up. Once again, my name's Off the Cuff Tom, Nerd Initiative's pop culture connoisseur. And today we're pulling it back just a little bit. Hopefully you folks can finally see a little bit more of the Den of Zen. I did get the ultimate collectible this year. I happen to have purchased a home, so this has always been a work in progress. If you don't know, this is my gift to myself. I've had this on here many a times. It is still in box. When I finally get everything else set up here in the office, this will be my final unboxing as my welcome home gift. Now, we did just have the holidays upon us, and we hope that, whatever you celebrated, you had a wonderful time with friends and family. Or, if you happen to be the antisocial type, then hopefully you spent it with us on Nerd Initiative reading up on all your stuff. It's kind of funny me wearing a tie tonight. I figured I'd zhuzh it up just a little bit, look a little fancy, because we've got everything going on here, and it's the big end of the year. I did get a pickup this week, obviously, as it was the holidays. Two, as a matter of fact. One, to make my streaming job a little bit easier and editing and stuff. I had a Stream Deck or macro board thing set up for me, so I'm looking forward to that. And then my wife, believe it or not, Mrs. The Cuff, she surprised me. She really, truly, and ultimately surprised me. Whenever you get a particular brand of something, you always know that shake, that shimmy in the box. So I was thinking, oh, is it this? Is it that? What figure could it be? What set? Oh, is it Home Alone? Is it the DeLorean? No, Mrs. The Cuff got me the Nightmare Before Christmas set. This will go up in our Lego and board game cabinet. We have a back stock like nobody's business. Maybe this will be done by Halloween. I don't know. But hopefully you guys can tell us what you picked up this week. What figures or, collectibles you got also in your stockings of stuffing that were stuffed, hopefully. I got brownies in mine. I can't complain. But, it's still just a normal week for us here at Nerd Initiative. And you know what? That's all my news. But let's talk about something. That's right. This week in toy news, obviously with the holidays and everything, there's a lot of stuff going on. I saw this beautiful statuette of He-Man and Battle Cat. And once I saw the price, I was like, yep, no. We couldn't even put a pool together in the NI bullpen to even talk about it. So, you can go look that one up on your own. It's about $2,500. But talking about what we've got, more in our price range, hopefully. Let's start off with the DC Multiverse from Todd McFarlane. We've got some great images here. These have been out and seen in public, in hand. So we've got their new line that's coming out soon. If you take a look, we've got Zatanna with Detective Chimp. We've got Professor Pig and Elongated Man. The best part is over here, folks, if you take a look, these are not just the figures themselves. We have variants. You've got Detective Chimp, one with a big, huge snarling face in yellow, and then you have his classic green. You got Professor Pig, both, in a very classic, butcher's apron, the leather type apron, and then in the cloth apron, and then Elongated Man in both different costumes, Roy Dibney. I was really surprised to see this. I personally would go for the old school purple and white. That's the one I liked more so. Maybe because of the Flash, maybe because of Justice League Unlimited. But I'm just more impressed with the fact that, Detective Chimp. Who had Detective Chimp on their bingo card? As a matter of fact, let's think about this, folks. Do you want a Play for Keeps bingo card for 2026? I think this is a good idea. I think we should do this. Let me know in the comments below. And if you have an idea, yeah, I think we get something going here. Obviously, the bullpen gets first dibs. But yeah, I think that's a good one. Now, again, we did talk about this last week. There was the whole news about the nacelle verse, and at the nacelle company, I should say, not the nacelle verse. I'm so used to saying nacelle, that we've got the first wave of Star Trek figures are on hold, and that's okay, folks. All right, Brian Volkweiss has gone on to say that there was a shipping error, there's some damaged product, and because these are collectibles for collectors, by collectors for collectors, and I will talk about that all day long and then some. I was really, really impressed that they were so forthright with it, talking about how they're going to make things right. If you happen to have gotten some figures, hey, we're going to make that right too. So kudos to the nacelle company. But just look at all this box art. I'm over here, by the way. Hi. But look at all this box art. I mean, we've got Sula. We've got the teacup. You can go check out the interview from 2024's New York Comic Con where Brian and I were freaking out just about a teacup. But Admiral Jellicoe. And just so everybody knows, to clarify, Jellicoe does not have ab crunch because he has a stick up his ass. Sorry, kids, we use these words in a sentence. Amir Darkly, Archer, like this is just, like I said, these are figures by collectors for collectors. So again, kudos to the Nacelle Company. We absolutely respect everything you guys are doing out there, and we love the fact that you're not messing around with this. We know our figures, we know our stuff. Back to that, going into the comic books, this year has been amazing, and for everybody here on Nerd Initiative, you've been following along. You know that we've got a lot of comics that came out this year. We felt as if we were all in and absolute about some great books, and more so, Hot Toys, hold on to your batarangs, folks, has just announced this amazing absolute Batman. It is coming from, hold on, was it Sideshow? I think it's Sideshow. I did a lot of research real quick, so it's been a day. This one is, I have it right here. This is going to be from Hot Toys, announced. Pre-orders you can get at Sideshow Collectibles. That's what I was talking about. This is going to stand 14.5 inches tall with 21 points of articulation, wired cape, multiple swapped out hands, 2 sets of armor spikes, the bat axe, 2 handle styles, a blade, a shotgun on a display stand, and there's even a special edition stealth cape as well. This is big nerd money, folks. This figure starts at $385, and you know what? Considering how much a phenom that Absolute Batman has taken over DC, and just, how many comics do you know that the first issue is on its 13th print? 13 reprints, because it's that damn good. So yes, standard edition is $385. Special edition is going to be $400. Personally, spend the extra $15. If you're gonna spend that much, spend that much. All right. So first, Daniel's blaming the Klingons for the Star Trek stuff. I'll give you that. And I see what you're saying. DC, Marvel takes a backseat. Dynamite and Skybound. I will agree, Daniel. There have been some amazing things that have come out, but you have to look at the industry as a whole. DC really has had a knockout of the park with the Absolute line as a whole. So I'm just put it there. I'm not saying one's better than the other. We're all entitled to our opinion, and that's the beautiful thing. Now, speaking of opinions, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a few folks from our NI bullpen. I have one special treat as well. They're going to be talking about their particular favorite pickups they had this year. After our final video, I'm going to tell you about what my favorite pickups are this year, and I think you're going to be very, very surprised. So, starting off, we have the deep dive diva herself, the fairer half of the Hops Geeks of the Hops Geeks News. We have the one and only Lauren. Let's give her a hand, or in this case, an arm.
Lauren here from Hops Geek News and Initiative, and my favorite collectible that I got this year is this amazingly perfect Superman. So a few years ago, I binged Smallville for the first time ever, and that was around the same time I realized that Superman and Lois was suddenly my favorite Arrowverse show after Legends of Tomorrow, which is highly underrated. If you gave up on that show, I highly recommend going back and finishing it. But then this summer, I rewatched all the Christopher Reeve ones, the Brandon Routh one, the Henry Cavill one, just Man of Steel, not the rest. And I started reading Superman comics for the first time ever. And so by the time I went to the theater and saw this movie, I was amped for it. And then this movie exceeded every expectation I have. I stand by, this is the best Superman movie. And it was just fantastic. Shout out to my co-host, Matt, who is also our editor-in-chief at Nerd Initiative, for getting the toy for me. I absolutely love him. He is proudly displayed in my bar area out in our main living area, and he's perfect. So that is my favorite collectible for 2025. I can't wait to get a Supergirl in 2026. Cheers.
Sorry, I really just, when I realized that was going to work out like that, I couldn't stop myself. Sorry, just hamming it up just a little bit. But yeah, Lauren, with, having that fantastic personal connection to a figure, that's one of those things that we love about collecting all this fantastic plastic. You guys see back here, I just have stuff that spans decades of stuff. I was fortunate to get the Cowboys of Moon Mesa. Shout out to the Nacelle Company for sending these. Reviews coming soon. We've got the Fallout figures from Dark Horse Direct that we're doing the reviews every single week on Nerd Initiative. Make sure that you go and comment on those episodic reviews for a chance to win the exclusive Cooper figure. We already did that review. It's on right here on our YouTube channel. Personally, I picked up some Robo 4s. I've got some Avatar. I've got Transformers. I've got Kaio. I've got so much stuff here. If you only saw the other half of the Den of Zen, you would be amazed. But again, it is always a work in progress, but I still have 4 empty shelves. So until it's done, it's done. We've got Gundams. I've got Keyblades. I've got Gargoyles. So there's plenty of stuff. But it's the personal experience that you get when you connect to a character. To have it in your physical manifestation is what keeps this type of industry alive. Because these companies out there, yeah, they're making money, but they're making a moment. They're making something tangible for you to touch, to feel, to evoke an emotion. And that's what I love about collecting. Not only is it the fact, I get to put figures in my hand and go, ooh, yay! But I get to do this with you folks. And I get to talk shop and have the opportunities that I've had. So we'll get to that. On top of it, besides the Deep Dive Diva, we also have the Mistress of Marvel herself, Megan from the Vigilante Vibes podcast. Megan, why don't you take it?
Hello, Nerd Initiative family. Happy holidays. I am here to talk about some of my collection, and I thought I would show off things that I'm actually very proud of because I made them myself. So starting off strong, I made this. This is Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man's head, actually. I just realized looks like I hunted Spider-Man. I did not. But I did make this. This is actually made from cardboard. And then I made this all by myself. It is also made from cardboard, and it makes me feel powerful. And I made this. This is my Mjolnir. This is my Thor hammer. This is what gets me through the day. So you may be wondering to yourself, Megan, how can you possibly be so talented and so amazing and making these incredible things? It's actually, they're called 4D builds. You can get them on Amazon. I think you can get them at Michael's. But yeah, they come with an entire book of all of the cardboard pieces, and it takes me hours to do, and I freaking love it. So Santa, if you're watching, I would really, really like another one because they're I'm looking up because I'm looking at them. I'm so sorry. But they're everything to me. So happy holidays. I hope all of your Christmases, Hanukkahs, everything is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Off the Cuff Tom, for having me on again. And I hope we all have a lovely holiday. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Megan, for sending that in. That's awesome. Now, for those of you who don't know, Megan is extremely talented. She's done some personal crafts and stuff around the house. She customizes stuff. I've seen some for work. So to know that, somebody who's as crafty as she is still building and making crafty stuff just for her own sentiment to relax and chill. That's all full circle. It's all full circle, man. It's synergy. I love it. That's really cool. I think that, again, those are big, man. Obviously, she held up Mjolnir. She is worthy. Absolutely. That is why we call her the Mistress of Marvel. You can check out all of her fantastic videos over on Vigilante Vibes, over here on Nerd Initiative. Like, she's aces, let me tell you. Speaking of ace is usually the trump card itself, the high card at the table. So let's hear from the guy who is the eye in the sky, our editor-in-chief, Matt from Hot Scoop News.
25 was a great year for toys. I got a lot of good Lego sets. As you can see here, that Disney Castle, a lot of Lego sets here. But there was one thing that stood out most to me, and it's this set in particular. I got the Arkham Asylum Lego modular set. This is one of the best Lego sets that I've gotten. As you can see, all of the minifigures here. I love, as Batman's turned around, of course. Let's show the bats. There you go. Bane, and we got Robin. Oh yeah, we even got some Penguin there. Poison Ivy on the outside. We got Mr. J that I set him up in there. Harley and stuff. So this set is amazing. There's a lot inside of it.
He thought I was going to edit that part. I didn't.
However, taking a look inside, you got each individual kind of cell there, which I thought was a fun little detail with the walls. They're all kind of put, you can take it apart, of course, but this, I kind of took pictures as I went along. Inside, there are like calendar mans here. We got a cool little bubbler, some inside offices, more things. So you got like the menu, chicken leg.
By the way, folks, anybody who's not from New England, a bubbler happens to be what the rest of the world calls a water fountain.
Eggs, laughing fish soup, snow cone, kind of some things that tease into it here as you're looking inside of it. It's those little details that really stand out to me when you're looking at Lego sets. Inside, we got some employees, some most wanted, a therapy couch. Harley Quinn could have been working here at one point, of course. Here's another really good look kind of inside at the security and things. I love this set a lot. There's just a bunch of fun details. All in all, like I said, bunch of details inside. I didn't want to take this apart to really dig through, but you can take it apart. It is modular, which I really, really do enjoy. The modular stuff is so underrated. I have the X Mansion, which is another great modular set. That is what I got. But let's take a look at some of the other Legos that I got this year that I think are amazing. We do have the Disney Castle. This was my magnum opus, if you will. All the cool minifigures. Now retired, I did get the Hocus Pocus set, which I really, really love, man. This was a fun build, surprising. And then, of course, we got the X Mansion here. I got the Sentinel and everybody, but I got the Fantastic Four Galactus set back there, and a lot of really fun. So, all in all, great stuff. Thanks to Tom for what he's doing. Tom does the best work. So make sure you like, subscribe, share here, and let us know what some of your best toys of the year were.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate that. You taking the time out. Obviously, he's a very busy man. Runs a lot of stuff here around on the Nerd Initiative. So yeah, he's our Lego guy. Trust me. Shout out to his wife for letting him keep buying Legos. We're ready to have the intervention. Just say the word. We'll be there. It's okay. Mind you, as I talk, because I got my Lego set for Christmas as well. But just to show you, we did our first episode this year of Collector's Corner, and we're looking forward to trying to get some more large scale collectors on here, talking about their collections and their feelings of where they got the idea to start making these giant collections. We have a friend of the channel who decided to. I reached out to him. He's been on here on Nerd Mission multiple times. He's surprised, my co-host Mickey once or twice. We have the incomparable, the Eisner nominated Tim Sheridan. Tim, what do you think?
comics and movies and TV. Hey, everybody. It's Tim Sheridan, writer, producer of comics and movies and TV. My friend Tom asked me if I would make a little video to tell you about my favorite figure that I got this year. I'm also an action figure collector. This year has been a year of me just going nutty for the new Jakks Pacific Simpsons line, which has just thrown me right back to like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, to the Playmates World of Springfield line, which was just the most fun I think I've ever had collecting a line of toys. And so Jakks has really kind of revitalized that and brought me back to my wayward youth. And I mean, of all that, I mean, there's so many amazing figures in that line. One of the big things I'm not going to talk about, I'll just mention it briefly, is they've introduced a 2.5-inch scale line of figures, which is incredible. I hope it goes on for a long time because you could just, there's so many characters they can make in that scale, and they look amazing on the shelf. Like here's like Krusty, but the reason I'm showing you this one is because he came with this 2.5-inch scale Mr. Teeny. So like this is the stuff that just absolutely brings me huge amounts of joy. Also, they've been doing stuff that we never got in the World of Springfield line, and maybe I think what must be my favorite figure that I've gotten this year came out recently in Wave 6 of the 5-inch scale of Simpsons from Jakks Pacific, and that is this guy right here. This is labeled on the box as just Ned Flanders, but we all know from the episode that this is stupid sexy Flanders in his ski outfit. Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Anybody who's not a Simpsons fan is watching this going, what is he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. By the way, you can't just have the one out of the package. I also have in the box as well. You can see it says Ned Flanders. It doesn't say stupid sexy Flanders, which is what it should say, but maybe they had issues with putting that on the box. Such an obscure one episode reference. Things like that are really clever. They're fun. They bring me right back to the show that I love so much. And I'm just having, I don't know, it's nice when action figures and toys take you back to another time, remind you of not only the episodes, but they're also reminding me of the great time I had collecting the World of Springfield line as well. So there have been lots of great figures this year, but I think probably for me, Stupid Sexy Flanders is number one.
Thank you so very much again, Tim. It's great. Greatly appreciate you take time out of your busy holidays to be with us here on Play for Keeps. We're going to have you back on soon. Although I will say, Stupid Sexy Flanders, I think you could pull that off as a Halloween gift. Just saying, feels like nothing at all. Also, if you have not been following Tim with his unbelievable Star Trek Lower Decks comics, go and become a Lower Decker. Lower Decks. I love the fact that Tim is a grown kid like the rest of us, and how we'll just hold up his little figures or like these particular figures that I may have gotten because Horse in Hell with my Kickstarter. So shout out to my buddy over there, Mr. Alan Dunford. So Tom does Play for Keeps. Tom does toy reviews. Tom is an avid collector. I don't even know how many figures I have in my collection. What is my favorite collectible of 2025? I don't have one. As much as I do love to collect this fantastic plastic, it's not something attainable that is my favorite collectible this year. I've realized as I've gotten older that it's the experiences in life that are really what I grasp onto. It's doing things like this for Nerd Initiative, for the people who are watching. More so, it's even for myself at times. It's the connection, it's the experience, it's the people, it's the opportunities that have been afforded to me, all because I've been a nerd, yeah, I could say, oh, hey, I've got the, up here, I got the new Rubik's Wow Cube, right? Cool, awesome. I have it. It's not my favorite collectible here. The experience of being able to go to New York, go to New York Comic Con, speak with the creator of this, talk shop. That's important to me. I was just going back through and talking with Mr. Luca, the North American manager for Fan Home, and looking at my gorgeous Cerritos Fan Home. It's on the other side of the office and on the other side of the shelf, as a matter of fact. That's the experience. Going up to the Kaio booth during New York Comic Con and get an opportunity to meet, the one and only Tara Strong, because she's hardcore. That's the experience. Obviously, if we're going to talk in the Cell Company, getting to talk to Brian Volkweiss every single year, that's the experience. Those are the collectibles, the intangibles are what I look forward to. The comments are what I look forward to. That's what collecting is for me. Don't get me wrong. You're going to send me a figure, I'm down, I'm in. But it's all the in-between that makes getting those figures all the more enjoyable. So 2025 was my great collectible. Yeah, I got a house, I got a dog. Also, two amazing collectibles. But the whole experience itself, you can't take that one away from me. So, sorry, just got a little real there with you. But having that said, folks, it has been an amazing year here on Nerd Initiative. We want to thank you so much for coming along with us, experiencing everything, whether it was here on Play for Keeps, Turn It Page, Wrestling Night Live, the articles, the TV, the movie reviews. We're fortunate to be able to share these experiences with you, and we want to hear from you. So make sure, as always, just like the boss reminds me to always tell you, that you make sure you hit that subscribe button, ding the thing and make it ring, and then smack the heck out of that thumbs up to let Michael, our GEO, know that we're doing our job and we're doing it well. On behalf of the whole team over at Nerd Initiative, folks, I just want to say thank you for making 2025 an extremely amazing experience, and I can't wait to see what happens in 2026 and for you to come along with us. As the great Mickey CWK Smith has always said, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and make sure that when you play for keeps. 2025, I'm out.